had our chances early. We talked about there's going to be a few chances. We're not going to have 25 chances against Notre Dame to really put ourselves in position to win. When we have those opportunities, we got to make them. We didn't do it. We had our chances. We had multiple possessions in the first half in their territory. We talked about having one game changer on ST. We got it early, which you'd rather have that one early than late. We got it really early in the game to set us up. We complete a ball to get down to 6, and then we turn the ball over, throw an interception in the red zone. So felt like at halftime, had a chance to really be in good position, have a lead in the game, and really put them under a lot of pressure at home. The positives in the trenches, we held up on both sides of the ball in the run game. We probably ran the ball the best we have. Defensive line held up, linebackers held up in the trenches in the run game. Throwing the ball offensively was bad on all accounts. We didn't protect good enough. They're really good at getting after the quarterback. If, watching the Purdue game, I didn't know if it was you could protect against them. We did at times, but not consistently enough to have time to execute our passing game. They won the battle in the perimeter. They play tons of man. It's what they do. They got really good DBs, a couple All-Americans back there, and we couldn't shake loose and create enough space in the passing game to be effective. So they won those battles on the perimeter pretty consistently all day. There was not a lot of air to throw the football, and that's what they do, and that's what they're good at, but would like to get more space out there. And then, under pressure, didn't make all good decisions, throwing the football, where to throw the football. And so it was, credit to Notre Dame. They're really good pressure, and they're really good pass rush. They're really good coverage, and they that part of the game went their way pretty much for 4 quarters. We were under duress the whole time. We were not really getting open. So it was that wasn't very good from our offense standpoint. Defense, pretty good. Just a couple key mistakes on their drives that they scored. We had chances to get off the field, and, one drive is 2 penalties for 30 yards. Another drive, they run a spacing route on 3rd and 6, and we should be all over it, and we screw up our coverage and give them an easy one, and they later score. So felt like we did a lot of good things defensively again, but our defense still feels like, hey, on their scoring drives, we screwed up. We got picked on 3rd down on an obvious pick situation. Everybody was yelling. We knew the formation. We knew what everybody does on 3rd medium. They run pick routes, not just Notre Dame, and then we get picked, and so there's things even defensively they're frustrated with. So overall, I love the way the kids are. We came out to win a game. Our kids were confident. We kind of did what we thought we could do early, but we screwed up our chances. We didn't execute and get it done when we could have been up 14-0 or 10-0 and really put ourselves in good position going to halftime with the lead. We're down 14-3 somehow, and you kind of feel like you outplayed them, but you didn't take advantage of the time you outplayed them. So they're a good team. They're physical. They got talent everywhere. They got depth. I thought the things we did were very impressive because we did against good players. The things we didn't do well, they got better players than us at some spots, and in some spots we didn't execute the way we capable of executing, and didn't give us a chance against good people. So.
Coach, it looked like there was some progress in the run game, especially on yards per carry, if you take out Brett's losses in that. But 2 for 12 on 3rd down and then the red zone. Do you feel like you're making progress in the run game, or are there still things yet that you need to do, especially as you go toward conference play?
Yeah, we definitely need to keep getting better, but we definitely ran the ball more effectively than we did the first 2 weeks, and we didn't have any negative runs. We had some short runs, but, if your bad runs are 2 or 3 yards, then you're having a good day running. So all our running backs ran and had some success. Our line and tight ends and perimeter guys did some nice things on the perimeter block, and so it was definitely better. 3rd down was not good. And we didn't really have a chance on we didn't protect good enough. We didn't get open. We didn't throw, there was no, it's not like you're looking back and like, man, we dropped that one, or man, we had a guy open there, or man, like there was we got beat on third down. It's kind of their wheelhouse when they get you to third down. They're really good pressuring, and they're really good at playing press man, and they kind of suffocate us on third down. But we have to be better than 2 for 12 on third down if you want to win games. In that red zone 2 weeks in a row, we've thrown picks early in the game, first and second drive of the game, with a chance to really establish and get a lead and play from ahead, which everybody likes to play from ahead. We've turned the ball over, so you can't do that in the red zone if you're going to have success down there.
What are some major changes you want to see moving forward against UMass and as we start conference play?
Good question. Major changes. I don't know that we have any major changes we need to make, but it's a good question. It's like our consistency across the board on both sides of the ball and ST. Just we do a lot of good things even against Notre Dame. There's a lot of really good plays that go Miami way and that we have success and but consistency, and then inexperience on the perimeter. We're younger at wideout. We're younger at DB, so we got to keep growing there. It's not going to happen overnight, but we got to have more understanding of the game. Most of our mental errors are awareness with perimeter guys, and some of it just is lack of experience. They haven't played enough to, in certain situations, things that would be obvious to a guy that's played 2 or 3 years, been in that situation so many times, he just knows what's coming and knows how to try to play the play. A lot of our younger guys, which is normal, just need more game experience. So a lot of our mistakes that are maddening come from our younger, the guys that haven't played a lot of football. So we got to keep growing in that area.
What have you maybe seen on film that's contributed to some of the difficulty to score through these first 3 games on some of the shorter fields?
Yeah, one turnovers. One turn ball, if you can't score, we've taken points off the board. We turned it over in plus territory against Northwestern on the last drive. We had a sack against Northwestern on a short field. Some of it just has to do with, like, can we run the ball in? Like, can you get down inside the 10 and just run the ball in? You'd like to. Against some of the opponents we played, we haven't been able to do that, and no one runs the ball in against Notre Dame, and hardly anybody runs the ball in against Northwestern. But so it's like, now, okay, you try to run it, and we've tried to run some down there, and we haven't been able to do it because short field, you're going to have really loaded boxes. Then it comes down to winning one-on-one matchups on the perimeter, when you got to win one-on-one matchups. And we can't turn the ball over. We have to be able to run the ball better down there. We have to be able to win one. They're going to play man, or it's what it is. Everybody does the same things down there. So we got to be able to pound the ball in, and we got to win one-on-one matchups. And when we do, we got to protect, and then we can't turn the ball over. So we haven't been good at anything down there right now. So we got to get better at running it down there. We got to get better at throwing it down there if we're going to have success and win games. So some of it has to do with our opponents, like hard running against Notre Dame. Then you throw it, they're pretty, So that's moving forward. It doesn't matter. We got to find an answer down there, and we got to get better at everything down there. Right? We're not really good at anything, so we got to get better in the red zone for sure.
The Athletics article came out this morning about your process last week, and it quoted the offense as barely functional. How does something like that compare to what you know your offense is capable of?
I don't understand the question.
I'm just saying that the Athletics says that your offense is barely functional through the first 3 games, but how does that compare to something that you know your offense is capable of? Is that how you see your offense, or is that?
That's not how I see my offense, but we had 380 yards against Cincinnati. We moved the ball. In the first half, we moved the ball really well against Notre Dame. We're not scoring enough points, obviously. We have not played very good on offense through 3 weeks. We have to score more points to win games. Whether we're barely functioning, I don't know if we're barely functioning, but we're trying to function, so I don't really know. So,
is there any sort of familiarity with UMass and now playing them in non-conference in back-to-back years? And
yeah.
Do they look similar this year to what they had last
season? Yeah,
season?
they got a new OC, so that's different. So they're definitely definitely running different stuff on offense. They do have some similar pieces. Their quarterback and some of the players are the same. Defensively, their head guy's a defensive guy. They run that system. I would say it looks slightly different last year, but there's a lot of similarities on defense to what they've done. But there's a few new things they're doing defensively. So offensively, some familiarity with players, but not scheme. It's just different schemes. Defense, there's a decent amount of carryover, yes.
It seems like some of the damage this year has been by mobile quarterbacks who were able to make plays. Going against UMass this week, are you expecting to see another somewhat mobile quarterback? And I know going into MAC play, it looks like you're going to keep seeing that type of quarterback.
Yeah, that was definitely the flavor of the year. Last year we played a lot of really athletic quarterbacks a year ago, and a number of those guys are back. But UMass kid's really, really athletic. He's strong. He can throw it. He can do both. So they will use him and use his legs. They always do. But he can also throw it. So it's a lot of weeks moving forward. I think you're right. We're going to see guys that are really athletic that you have to defend the quarterback run game, and that's always a challenge because you get an extra blocker when you run the quarterback.
Last week you said something about going to places like Notre Dame being a chance to shine on a big stage. Would you say Brian Ugu did some of that last week because he had a pretty good game?
Yeah, I think a lot of our guys did. I think a lot of our guys, like, again, anybody who watched the game, is a pretty fair fight. I know the final outcome was 27-3, and the final score wasn't, but even late in the third quarter, we're in a 2-score game, and probably pretty frustrated that it's not closer than 2 scores because it's 14-3, and we feel like we definitely should have more points on the board, and probably they shouldn't have the 14 they do. So, but Ugu was really good. Salopek was good. Ty Wise made a bunch of plays. Ranstrader was good. There's a number of guys. Savio and Kobe inside were really good against Notre Dame offensive linemen and really handled. Adam Trick played good. Lacus there was a lot of guys that played really good football for us. And then offensively, I thought, O-line, tight ends, running backs, receivers in the run game, we did a lot of good things. So I think a lot of guys, but I think Ugu stands out every week. I mean, Ugu's been pretty like him and the Salpex, and kind of you get what you get every week. Thank goodness they come to play, and they play really hard, and they're very disruptive. So, but yeah, I felt like a lot of our kids, competed at a pretty high level. Did we win over 50% of the battles? No, we didn't. But it wasn't like it was 80-20 and our kids couldn't compete out there against Notre Dame. And, I watched a Purdue game the week before and they beat Texas A&M. And, so did we get their A game? I don't know. Probably not. Probably you never get their A game when you're a 4-touchdown underdog. But I thought our kids competed and did a lot of good things.